Hi guys, welcome to Reensplace. Today is the second installment of the Fall Food Fridays collab done with Fallon over at Moss Family TV. Today for my recipe, I am going to do a variation of a pumpkin bread that I got. The recipe for the main bread is from Once Upon a Chef, and I will link the recipe below to her blog. And yeah, that's what I'm using as the base, and then I'm going to add some add-ins that she doesn't have. But interestingly enough, when I was reading her recipe, she said that her grandmother had clipped this recipe out of a newspaper 50 years ago. So this is a very old, tried and true recipe. First off, you're going to want to preheat your oven to 325 degrees, and this is going to make 2 loaf pans. So have your loaf pans ready. Again, this is an old recipe, and I'm going to try to do it justice, but I'm going to do a little bit of my own way because I'm a little lazy. So what they tell you to do is mix all the dry and all the wet and then put them together. I'm going to mix all the wet in here in my KitchenAid, and then I'm just going to throw the dry in. So we're going to start it off with 1.5 sticks of softened butter. This is fairly softened. I just cut it up in little things. And then I'm going to start mixing this actually. Again, you could do this with a hand mixer or by hand. I'm just doing it in here because it's easier and faster. Sorry about that. Let me get on the other side. Pull my girl out a little bit. Okay. Okay, so while that's going, I'm going to bring you over here and show you what else I have. So we have a stick and a half of softened butter. Mine's really not that softened. I'm also going to use, it says a 15-ounce can of pumpkin, and that's pure pumpkin, not the pie filling. I have a 29-ounce, so I'm going to use just over half of that. And then I'm going to use a teaspoon of baking soda, a half a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon each of ground cloves, cinnamon, and ground nutmeg. And 2 eggs. That is the original recipe. So, and then there's sugar. I believe it's 2 cups of sugar and 2 cups of flour. And they're very specific about how you measure out the flour, which we'll get into when we get up to that part. So the butter is going nicely in here. I'm going to show you. Okay, and now we're going to add the sugar into it. And again, that's 2 cups of sugar. And I have my own pumpkin bread recipe that I use, but honestly, when I was like pulling out the ingredients, I was like, oh, this is too much, it's too involved. It really isn't. I don't know why I thought that. It's pretty close to this one, but I'm just going to go with this one. This is a new one. And again, the woman that I got the recipe from, her blog, it said that her grandmother got it over 50 years ago, so I thought that was kind of neat too. I'm going to save my 1 cup measuring cup because I'm going to measure out my flour a little bit later on. And then I'm just going to crack the eggs in the bowl. And I'm going to add them into this one at a time if I can. Here we go. 1. Oh, you know what I was thinking? I don't think there's even vanilla in this recipe. I'm going to look. Let's see. No, there's no vanilla in here. Okay, so that's getting nice and creamy, and it says to get this till it's nice and creamy. Okay, and then I'm going to pull this down a little bit just to make it easier to get the... So now we're going to do 2 cups of flour. And they are, again, very specific about the flour. They say... Let me move some of this nonsense out of my way. Okay. They say with your flour that you're supposed to... My own recipe is not this specific, but it says to spoon the flour in here and then scrape it off. So You know I want to just scrape it in there. I didn't do it. So I'm going to use this other measuring cup that's in here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah. Okay, so I'll do the next one so you can see. That's one. I'm going to just throw that right in the mixer. Okay, so I don't think you saw it last time. So basically, they just want you to like put it in the cup like this. And then whoop, off the top. So that's 2 cups of flour. And then to this, we are going to be adding our spices. We're going to add our spices and our sodas and powders. So, oh, you know what I did? I did it wrong already because I was supposed to put the pumpkin in. Oh well, it doesn't matter. A teaspoon of baking soda. A half a teaspoon of baking powder. A half a teaspoon of salt. A teaspoon of ground cloves. Oh my god, you should smell this stuff. It definitely smells like fall. Teaspoon of cinnamon. And a teaspoon of nutmeg. And I think the nutmeg's my favorite. Okay, so then I'm just going to use my measuring spoon and I'm going to just mix that around a little bit. Turn it on. And again, probably the pumpkin should have went in with the wet, but I wasn't really thinking, and I don't think it'll really matter one way or the other. This will just be a little thicker. So I'm going to get that going. And again, it's calling for a 15-ounce can. I have a 29-ounce can. So that's going to be just over half a can. And I'm going to put that in as we're going. If that doesn't look and smell like fall, I don't know what does. Okay, that looks good to me. I'm just going to stop it for a second and I'm going to scrape this down. Because like I said, it was a little thick there on the bottom. Okay. It smells so good. I'm going to scrape down this side. I mean, this is super easy, especially if you like measure the stuff out ahead of time. It's even that much easier. I mean, if you're at home doing this, obviously you don't need to leave all your containers out so everybody can see what you're doing. You can measure, put them away, and cleanup will be that much quicker. Wow, I just tasted that. That's delicious. I feel like this is also thicker than the one I normally make. This might be my new favorite. Okay, and so this is it. That's the recipe. What I'm going to add, because my recipe had it, I'm just going to add a handful of raisins, dried cranberries, maybe 2 handfuls. I have tiny hands. Okay, there you go. And then I just took like about a cup or maybe more, like 2 of my little handfuls of walnuts, and I put them in my little thing, my little chopper. I'm gonna throw them in. And you don't have to do this at all. You can have it just plain. Pecans would also be good in here. And I'm just doing a half a cup of chocolate chips. You could do more, and if I wish I had white chips, but I don't. So that's it. That's gonna be the pumpkin bread. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my loaf pans and I'll bring them over and we'll be right back. If I can find my clicker. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I'll be right back with the loaf pans. Okay, so we're back. I have my oven again preheating to 325 degrees. I have my 2 full loaf pans. And I have some Pam baking spray. It's the one that has the flour in it. You could use, you could just grease them and flour them. This is just easier. For me anyway. Okay. I love how this stuff smells like butter. Probably not the best for you, but I don't really care. Okay, so now we've got our we have our cake mix here, or bread mix. I always think of this as more like a cake. Okay, we'll put this in the sink. Okay. Wow, this is really heavy. Okay. Sorry if I'm in the bowl is in your shot, but let's see. Okay, we're just going to spread this out like this. Cranberries, chocolate chips, walnuts. And the spice smell is oh so good. Okay, so we're going to throw this in the oven. And it says between an hour and 15 minutes, I believe. So I'm going to set my timer for an hour. And then I'll bring you back and we shall check it together. So this is going in right now. And I'll be back with you in about an hour. Okay guys, I checked it after an hour and it was still needed a couple more minutes. So I put it on for 7 more minutes and we're done. So 1 hour, 7 minutes. I'm going to let them cool in the pans for a minute. I'll come back in about a half an hour or so. We'll take them out, get them on a rack, and maybe slice a piece off so you can see what it looks like. It smells so good. Alrighty then, I will be back in a few minutes. Okay guys, we're back. I was going to take it out of the pans, but I figured they're down low enough. I'm just going to put plastic wrap on the top to put them away. So we're going to cut into this loaf together. Okay. Now this is the first time I've had this recipe. And it's definitely different than the one I make, but oh, that looks so good. I know the lighting's not great in this kitchen, but yum. I can see all of the walnuts, the cranberries, the chocolate chips. Let me move you around here and see if you can see better. Wow, that looks so good. I'm going to taste it real quick. Okay. You know what? If you guys are here from Fallon's channel, from Moss Family TV, let me know in the comments. And if you're not here from her channel, then you should definitely go over and check them out. Moss Family TV. They are a great family. Lots of food and just family stuff that they have. Look at this. Oh my goodness. It's really good. I have to say, I thought with a teaspoon each of the ground cloves, the nutmeg, and the cinnamon that it would be like super spicy. And it's not. I mean, I really taste, I can taste the chocolate, I can taste the nuts. I mean, it's definitely in there, but it's not overly. Really good. Okay, guys. Definitely give this one a try. It's supposed to be, like I said, over a 50-year-old recipe. I will link the original recipe below so you can go over and check out that that blog. And again, if you're here from Fallon's channel, thank you. I hope you will consider subscribing. And if you're not, please go over to Fallon's channel at Moss Family TV and check out a list of all of the Fall Food Friday videos that she has listed in her collab and her video as well. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend and enjoy lots of good fall food. Talk to you soon.